Okay, so first of all, I think the one of the reasons I'm making this video is because I want to test out my new intro I made for this channel. I'm very excited about it. It took me a lot of hours to make, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So here it is, my new intro. Okay, so let's get down to business. I made a few notes here so that I don't stray too much out of subject, but let's talk about filmmaking, and let's talk about how living as a filmmaker can be and probably is for most people. Filmmaking is hard, okay? It's a very hard life, and anyone getting into it has to understand just how hard it really is, okay? Let me get this out of the way. When I'm talking about filmmaking, I am mainly talking about narrative work, you know, be it for television or films or cinema and or documentary, but mainly if you want to make movies, okay? If you want to be an actual filmmaker, which is someone who makes movies, makes narrative work and or documentary work. Anything else is not a filmmaker, so let's get that out of the way. And if you disagree with me, there is plenty of room in the comment section to let me know why you do. That's my opinion on what being a filmmaker is. So it's someone who makes movies for film and television and or documentaries. Not a wedding filmmaker, he's not a filmmaker. That's a wedding videographer. Someone who makes music videos is not a filmmaker, he's a videographer, and so on. It is an art of its own, it has its merits, it is not in any way better or worse than being a filmmaker. This is pure definition.
So it's the kind of, that's what tells me that's happening in the culture a little bit, is that I'm seeing more and more people claim to be filmmakers and claim to be cinematographers. Here's my point in that. I'm a filmmaker. And if you don't believe me, IMDb me. Go ahead. I got 5 credits to my name. Well, more than that, but I mean, I got 5 features to my name. And some of them suck. They're awful. Terrible. But you know what? I'm still proud of them because I worked hard and a lot of other people did too. Those exist, and that's not me patting myself on the back. I'm not doing a Goldie. I'm just simply saying, like, I earned that title and I worked my way through it to get to that point, and you can too. It was an aspiration for me, and that's what I pursued. I pursued the dream of doing it, and I made it happen. I didn't just pick up a camera, walk outside, shoot some daylight natural crap, and call myself a filmmaker. That's bull.
Anyway, moving on. Being a filmmaker is extremely hard, and you have to love it. It has to be inside you. You have to be born with it. Otherwise, you will be wasting your time because it's just too hard, okay? You have to love it. You have to dedicate your entire life to it. And you have to be prepared to suffer, okay? 99% of filmmakers, and in this case, I'm talking about directors and cinematographers, the guys at the top, basically on a film crew. It's very hard to get into the market, get work, and be recognized and be valued and, you know, be called back for work, because the filmmaking industry, much like a lot of industries, I'm sure, you know, people are accustomed to certain people, so they keep calling those people back, and there is only a few windows of opportunity for you as a filmmaker to break into the industry and to actually have an opportunity. So it's very, very hard. You have to love it, otherwise it's not going to work. I'm sorry if I bumped the microphone there. Anyway, moving on. Let's say I want to talk about the priorities that you should have while making a film, in my opinion, of course. Yours may vary. The most important thing in a film, be it a short film or a feature film or a television show, whatever you're working on, you want to work on, you want to do, the most important thing is the script. Without a good script, you have nothing. You can cast a big A-list actor, you can get the biggest DP you want and get the biggest whatever. It's not going to be a good film if the script is garbage, okay? So please understand this. A lot of filmmakers just want to do, oh, I want to shoot this and that, and they sometimes neglect the script, and it turns out to be shit, okay? So take a lot of time on your script and be prepared to do draft after draft after draft until it's perfect. Show it to people. try to filter out the opinions, because some people are going to just be nice and some people are just be bad, and you need to learn how to filter. It's not, oh, because they're saying it's bad, it's probably bad. No, you have to be intelligent about it and see if the person that's giving you a bad review or bad criticism is actually right, if it makes sense or not, and also for the good things. If someone says, oh, I really like the script because blah, 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 you think, okay, is blah, blah, blah really there, or is this guy just being nice, okay? So take your time with the script. The script is very, very, very important, okay? Love it, and understand that without a good script, you have nothing. You can have the best crew in the world. Without a good script, you've got nothing. There are plenty of big blockbuster movies out there that make that very, very obvious. Terrible scripts, all the money, and the film is garbage. Next thing, actors. Okay, one of the biggest patterns I see in short films I watch on YouTube and sorts is the acting is usually very, very bad. Be it because you're asking friends, or maybe because you're neglecting it, because you're only thinking about the shot, you're only thinking about the lights, or you're only thinking about whatever, and you're not really thinking about the actors. This is something I experienced as well when I was shooting stuff when I was younger. Acting wasn't one of my priorities, because I thought, oh, actors just have to do what they do and everything will be fine. And acting is almost as important as a script, because without a good actor, your script may be wonderful, but if you don't have the right actor to portray your character, it's going to be bad, okay? And so waste time learning how to work with actors, learning how to direct actors, and learning how to block scenes with actors and all that stuff, because you need to know what you want. You cannot hesitate, because you don't want an actor second guessing your choices and stuff like that. You have to be ready. Oh, but why is he doing this? He's doing this because blah, blah, blah. That's because what I want. Obviously, you have to be open for, contribution from the actors. You might say something that makes sense, but study your script, know your characters by heart, and be prepared and trained to convey that message to the actors. I don't know if this is making a noise here on the table. I'm sorry, I'm just bumping my fingers on the table. Anyway, moving on. I'm not going to do that anymore, just in case. Actors is very important. It's one of the things that I do regularly. I coach actors. It's something I love to do, and something I didn't know I loved to do was working with actors. I started doing auditions for commercials, for TV commercials, about 13 years ago, and I spent 5-6 years doing that as a means to get some income, as I was working on my other projects, obviously. And I learned a lot about people and actors and how important they are for your story and for the success of your film, be it short film, feature film, whatever. Take this advice as something general, okay? So actors, love them, know what to do with them, and move on. The third thing, which I think is very, very, very important in a film and should be your priority in the technical part, is sound. You've probably seen this a million times, but if you watch a clip with a great image and a terrible sound, and then you watch a clip with a terrible image but a great sound, you're going to want to watch the one with bad image quality and good sound, because bad sound is unbearable. So another thing you shouldn't neglect is sound, and how important it is to convey your message, how important it is to actually tell the story, because sometimes the absence of sound can contrast well emotionally with the film. The abundance of sound can do that well. So sound is very important. It needs to be clear. People need to understand what's going on. You need to have music if you have music in your film. You need to have good sound effects, if good Foley and all that stuff. So sound should be your third priority when working on a film. You need good sound, otherwise you're screwed, okay? All the things you did before and you do after will not matter at all if you don't have good sound. So there it is, sound. Have good sound, love your sound, understand how important it is. It is more important than cinematography. Anyway, moving on. After sound is blocking. What is blocking, basically? Blocking is directing. The scene is deciding where the actors are, where the camera's going to be, and bear in mind that I'm talking about the one camera process. So one shot to do a two shot of the two characters talking, then I'm going to do the coverage of the close-ups and blah blah blah. Coverage is something that you should understand the term. The coverage is how you're going to cover your scene, so how are you going to block your scene. Coverage is very important, and only after you master coverage can you become an artist in filmmaking. And so a lot of people think that directing a film is about camera angles and all that stuff. It's not. Directing a film is everything. Being a director is solving problems. That's the first thing you should remember. Being a director is having to answer a billion questions a day. That's being a director, and you have to have the answer for everything, because you are the architect. You are the one that knows what everything should be like. Okay, so coverage, blocking, this is very important. You should do this before you are on set. Decide how many shots you need, and then convey this to the first assistant director, which will then convey this to the DP. Obviously, you will have a close relationship with your DP if you're not doing your own cinematography, lighting. Moving on from blocking, the last thing I want to talk about as well, cinematography. Cinematography is like the cherry on top of the cake. It's like the thing that makes everything beautiful. You need a good cinematographer. You should learn lighting. You should learn camera angles and what they mean. Bear in mind that, and to settle this, some people aren't really sure. Who decides where the camera goes and what lens you should use is the director. The director has a final say. Obviously, the DP can say, oh, let's use an 85 here and let's do it at 1.8 or something, or let's pump it up to 5.6. And the director says, no, I want a 35 at f8, so whatever, okay? The director has a final say. The cinematographer's job, the DP's job, the director of photography's job is to facilitate the director's vision, okay? And this is, for me, the last priority you should have when making a film, is cinematography. Because a film with bad sound people won't watch, but a film with bad cinematography people might tolerate because it has good sound and the script is interesting. You know, there's plenty of examples of films that don't look particularly good, but we watch them and we like them because the story is engaging, the sound is decent, and so on. And that's it, guys. I don't want to make this video too long. I have tons of stuff I want to talk about when it comes to filmmaking. I just wanted to make this little video and see how you guys react. I also love to know what you think about the new logo I made for this channel. And I hope you found this advice useful. And if you disagree with me or if you agree with me, please let me know in the comments below. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.